last weekend we were playing that video, and like the music was going, which doesn't the music to that just kind of make you want to move just a little bit? I know. I see some of you in the dark. You're like, you're getting into it a little bit. Anyway, last week that music was going, and Mary was sitting right here, and in the dark, Mary was getting down. Like Mary thought she was in the club, like Club Jesus in the basement. And it was awesome, Mary. I thought it was so great. And so, hey, I need a little help preaching today. And since Mary likes to dance a little bit in church, can you guys just help me out and give me a little bit of little move? Whatever it is, you know, if you need to cut the grass or sprinkle the lawn, whatever. Some of you are visiting and you're like, what in the world kind of church did I come into? Hey, if this is your first time with us, you picked a great Sunday to walk down 23 stairs because number one, you've already worked out. I mean, the stairs, you ever think of the stairs as a workout? That's good. So you already got your workout in, so that's a win. But number two, today, we've been talking about emotions, but today we're going to talk about how this church gives me all the feels. And every couple of years, I pull out my vision message. I pull it off the shelf, throw it in the microwave, dust it off a little bit, put some sprinkled cheese on it. You know when you're trying to make something new, you sprinkle the cheese on it. Anyway, every couple of years, I pull out my vision message, and we talk about what church in the basement is all about. Is anybody feeling that? Anybody feeling that today? Cool. So I'm psyched about it. Before we dive into things, what is up, online family? And today's shout out is going to Kelsey up in Connecticut. We got a picture of Kelsey. This is Kelsey. Last weekend we gave a shout out to Kelsey in Bristol, PA. Different Kelsey, but this is Kelsey in Connecticut. And this is how Kelsey started to listen to our church. Michelle Merlongi, who comes here, told her friend Jody, who lives in Connecticut, about us a few years ago. Jody started listening all the time. In fact, a few years ago, we sent Jody a swag bag of Bayshore stuff. We sent the Bayshore shirt, the Bayshore mug. We just loaded it up to Connecticut. And so anyway, Jody told her sister, Kelsey, about us. And Kelsey and Jody have been listening ever since. And so we got a family up in Connecticut that is a part of our church. And so can you guys on three just say, what's up, Kelsey? What's up, Kelsey? On three. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. What's up, Kelsey? I love it. I love it. All right. Since we're talking about feelings, I really feel like we need to talk about how you feel about something real important. Things are going to get real serious real quick. Okay, guys? Because I need to know how you feel about a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich versus a Popeyes. All that dancing, you probably are hungry. But a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich versus a Popeyes chicken sandwich. We're talking Christian chicken versus heathen, evil, sinful chicken. And I need to know how you feel about these sandwiches in a second, okay? But, there's a choice to be made. Choose you this day who you will serve. Will you serve the Lord or the dark side? Now, here's why I need to know. I've grown up in Sussex County my whole life. Any other Sussex County, your whole life, people? Whoa, this is the 302 over here. Growing up in Sussex County my whole life, I've actually always lived in Millsboro. And back in the day, Millsboro didn't have much. All right, back in the day when I was growing up, all we had was we had Roses, which is where our family used to rent our VHS tapes. Come on. I used to always want to rent Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. Come on. But we had Roses, we had Bonanza, and not the old Western show. I'm talking the all-you-can-eat buffet with all-you-can-eat soft serve ice cream. So I love Bonanza, I loved Roses, and then we have McDonald's. Okay, that's all Millsboro had back in the day. But now, it's driving through Millsboro, it is like driving through New York City. I don't know, it is the good old country boy. I mean, listen, we got Jersey Mike's the other day. We got a BJ's, so now we can buy toilet paper by the pallet. We have a Wawa and a Royal Farms. How many of you know, like, if there was a lot for sale on the moon, Wawa or Royal Farms will buy it and build there. Like, they're everywhere. And we have Chick-fil-A and Popeyes. All right, so now when I was growing up, you couldn't find a chicken sandwich in Millsboro. Like, there was not. Now, you couldn't drive down Main Street without seeing a chicken truck, but there were no chicken sandwiches. Now, there's at least 10 places you can get a chicken sandwich in Millsboro. You can get one at Wawa, Arby's, Burger King, Royal Farms, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Lord help us. Like, you can get it anywhere. And so, Dairy Queen, there you go. So last year, when Popeyes came out with like their chicken sandwich and everybody's losing their mind to get one, you know, like it was Willy Wonka's golden ticket or something, I was thinking, like, does Millsboro really need another place to get a chicken sandwich? Like, do we really need another place to get a chicken sandwich? And so, like, I tasted one because I wanted to see, like, do we really need another chicken sandwich? And when I was eating it, I felt like I was sinning. I'm friends with the owner of this one over here. Me and Zach are buddies. And so I was like, put my hood up. Like, I'm like, don't see me, Zach. I don't know. And so whether you've had one of these chicken sandwiches or not, I need to know on three. I need everybody to shout me down which one you feel like is a better chicken sandwich. And you maybe never had it, but you just got to choose you this day who you'll serve, okay? Christian chicken or not, okay? So, all right, where are my Chick-fil-A people? Wow. All right, a lot of loyal fans of Chick-fil-A. Where are my Popeyes people? Wow. Maybe let's be all. We're that kind of church. It's okay. So kind of an even split. I'm not really going to tell you which one I think is better because I don't really feel like I should sin on Sunday on the stage in church. No, I'm just kidding. I'm friends with Zach. I love Chick-fil-A. Anyway. So I know some of you are thinking like, all right, this is great, Pastor Joel, but like, what's this got to do with me and Jesus? And all this chicken sandwich talk is making me hungry, so I want to get to lunch. You can get to the point. Here's the point. Just like Millsboro didn't really need another chicken sandwich last year when Chick-fil-A or when Popeyes came out with their chicken sandwich, in 2010, Rehoboth didn't really need another church. Did you know how many churches are within a few miles of our basement church? Anybody know? 20. Actually, last time I said this, there was 19. We got one more church now. So there's 20 churches. That's 19 more churches than there are Chick-fil-A's. 19 more churches than there are Popeyes. Guys, I think there are more churches than there are Wawas. I'm not sure about that because I'm pretty sure I can see 3 Wawas at one time on Route 1 if I'm in just the right spot. You know, you ever look like, there's one. Oh, there's one. Oh, here's one. Anyway, but in 2010, Rehoboth didn't need another church. But Rehoboth didn't have a church where people would stand in line at baptism parties and stand in line to get baptized. Rehoboth didn't have a church where there was the Hopkins Creamery ice cream truck that would show up after baptism parties so we could all eat some ice cream. Isn't that great? Rehoboth didn't have a church where our kids volunteers dressed up like this picture right here, like Mario and Luigi, just to put a smile on kids' faces. Look, when you show up to church and Mario and Luigi are in church, that's church. I think that's good. Rehoboth didn't have a church where you all couldn't wait to invite your unchurched friends to. And so why did we open up our doors? Because in 2010, my dad, who's our lead pastor, had a vision to change all of that. He had a vision to change this community. He had a vision to change all of you guys. And why does this church give me all the feels? Because here's what we're about. We'll put this on the screen. We're here to create an environment where everyone can grow and the unchurched love to go. We're here to create an environment where everyone can grow and the unchurched love to go. Guys, this gives me all the feels. This is what we're all about, okay? This is why we do some weird things around here sometimes. Have you ever thought, like, this church is a little weird? We sang James Brown this morning. This church is weird. Why does the hallway look like a Funland wallpaper just threw up in here? Like, what? And if that pastor calls his wife or says his wife is hot like fire one more time, like, it's just a weird church. Do you want to know why we're a little weird? You want to know why we do the things that we do? Well, we'll put this on the screen. Because we believe if you want to reach people nobody else is reaching, you got to do things that nobody else is doing. If you want to reach people that nobody else is reaching, you got to be willing to do some things that nobody else is doing, which is why in December we had the Jubilation Party and we watched the Grinch movie and the Grinch actually showed up, which my kids think the Grinch lives in the church now that they saw the Grinch in church. This is why for our Christmas services, Santa Claus and Buddy the Elf were in the service, and it was so fun. Look, this is why a few weekends ago we put Valentine's Day cards in the men's bathroom to help a brother out. That's true. How many of you took one of those cards? Can you admit it now? Or is it's still kind of like, yeah, I did. Casey got one. I love it. Anyway, but this is why the band opened up with I Feel Good this morning. Guys, this is why last weekend we collected all these DART bus passes, gift cards to help out the local homeless community. This is why when the Bahamas were hit with a hurricane last year, that Sunday we were like, we're just going to take 25% of everything that came in today, no questions asked. We're just going to give it to help rebuild the Man of War K down there. This is why when a family who comes here, their home was burnt down or their apartment complex was burnt and they were basically homeless, it's why you all gave this family, we'll put them on the screen, why you gave them, this family, their dream house, and we just kind of helped get them into their house because of your all's giving. Because we believe if you want to reach people that nobody else is reaching, you got to do some things that nobody else is doing. And you might say, well, that's not really reaching people, Joel. Do you know how many people started a relationship with Jesus at our campus last year in 2019? 106. 106. And we got to visualize this. And so I got this thing of Cheetos, and I emptied out the Cheetos, and I put some ping pong balls in here. There are 106 ping pong balls in here. This represents the number of people whose eternity is different forever because of a church in a basement, you guys. 106 people. And it gets better. In the last 5 years, 121 people have stood in line over here to get baptized. 121 people. And one of those people was a girl named Kelsey. And Kelsey said in her baptism story that she had basically been mad at God, but she walked in this church and she found out that God wasn't mad at her, but God was madly in love with her. And Kelsey celebrated her 1-year sobriety mark in our church. And Kelsey was the one, yeah, we can clap for that. And last year during her baptism party, Kelsey was the first person in line to get baptized. And here's her baptism moment right here. And I just think that says it all right there. Guys, that is what we are all about. And now Kelsey isn't mad at God. Now Kelsey serves with our kids this morning. Or she did this morning. Here's a picture of Kelsey just serving with the kids. It's coming. There it is. This is her serving with the kids. Kelsey is why we do what we do. Guys, this is why we do what we do. Rehoboth didn't need another church. Rehoboth needed a different kind of church. Come on, somebody. So we're going to talk about that today. If you brought your Bible, head on over to Matthew chapter 14. If you didn't bring your Bible, no worries. We got a giant digital Bible right here you can just check out. But let me just kind of set it up for you. Jesus was at the Sea of Galilee, and he had just found out that his cousin John had died. And so that's kind of where the story starts, starting in verse 13. It says this: as soon as Jesus heard the news, he left in a boat to a remote area to be what? Alone. Quick question. Have you ever wanted to get alone before? Ever needed a little me time before? All you parents, just give me a little solitary chest tap. Oh yeah, I know. Listen, sometimes I want some me time and alone time so bad. I will fake a trip to the bathroom. I'm like, I don't think my kids can find me in here. How many of you know your kids will find you anywhere? As soon as I don't think my kids will find me in the bathroom, that's when I see little fingers coming under the door. Listen, kids are like Dallas Cowboy fans. They're everywhere, okay? And so last Saturday, I decided I need a little me time, and I was going to take a nap. Now, here's the thing. I don't do naps. I don't do naps. Who does naps? Where my nap people at? Okay, yeah, all right. I don't do naps. All right, but last Saturday I was like, I need some me time. I'm gonna take a little nap. And you want to see a picture of what happened in my me time nap? Okay, here it is. This is what the thing turned into. There's 4 people in a queen size bed, plus my dog that is wearing his doggy diaper. This is why I have personal space issues right here. And I love my family, but I'm also traumatized in this situation right here. But Jesus wanted a little me time because he had just found out that his cousin had died. So he's got like all the feels of sadness. And so he wants some me time. But here's what happens in the second half of verse 13. It says, but the crowds heard that where he was headed and followed on foot from many towns. Okay, so like they're on Jesus. Like little fingers are coming under the doors. They got, they're on Jesus like a tourist is on a funnel cake. They're just like on Jesus. And it says that Jesus saw the huge crowd, and we're talking 10 to 20,000 people, most scholars estimate. 10 to 20,000 people. And as he saw them, he stepped from the boat, and he had, help me out here, compassion on them and healed their sick. Guys, I can't handle it when I need a little me time and I see a couple fingers coming under the door. Jesus needed some me time, and 10 to 20,000 people showed up, and he wasn't mad at them. He had what on them? Compassion. And so why in the world would 10 to 20,000 people scale the side of a mountain along the Sea of Galilee? That's what's going on. It's the side of the mountain. They're scaling this mountain. Like, why would they do that to get to Jesus? Can I illustrate it with a story? Here it is. Okay, so when I was in college, I loved to fish. Anybody love to fish? Anybody love to fish? I love to fish, and I used to go to my buddy Eric's house to go fishing because he had a john boat in his backyard. And Eric was my buddy, and he's like, anytime you want to come over, Joel, you can just come over, go in the backyard, and go fishing. The problem was Eric had a pit bull. And me and Eric's pit bull, we were not friends, you guys. And so one day, I was worried I was going to get eaten by this pit bull, and my phone rang. And it was my buddy Steve. And Steve said, hey, Joel, I have a free john boat up in Dover if you want it. I was like, let me pray about it. Yeah, I'll take it. And so like one summer day, me and Steve, we hopped in my 1989 Honda Accord where the headliner was falling down. You know the headliner falling down? We're driving up to Dover. We had windows rolled down. That's what you did in 1989. You had to roll those windows down. Anyway, the headliner was like flapping in the wind. We're going to Dover to get this free john boat. And when I got there, I realized why this john boat was free. Because it was old. I'm talking like biblical times. It was old. And this is not made up. It was in the woods. And there were literally trees growing out of the john boat. Trees are not supposed to grow out of the boat. But here's the thing. The price was right. And my spiritual gift is cheap. And so, like, it was free. And so I was like, I'm going to get it. And so we put the back seat of my Honda Accord down and opened up the trunk. And we shoved a third of the john boat in the back of my trunk, tied the rest up, and we drove back to Sussex County because we are hillbillies. And we're on our way back. And this is a true story. Steve saw this random pond. And Steve's like, we should pull over and go fishing. I'm like, okay. And there was literally trees going out of this boat 30 minutes ago, okay? But we put it in the pond. We get in the middle of the pond, and that's when Steve said, Joel, there's a leak in the boat. And there was this water, like right in the front of it, there's this water like shooting into the boat. And so like I started like paddling. Steve's like cupping it out. Like we're praying. I wasn't a preacher then, but I was still praying, all right? And so like, and I was thinking, I can't believe this boat is more dangerous than the pit bull. Like that doesn't even make sense, But people will do some crazy things for something that's free. You ever done anything crazy for something that's free? And so why in the world, back to the story, why in the world would 10 to 20,000 people scale the side of a mountain along the Sea of Galilee to get to Jesus? Was it because they wanted to be holy? Holier than Pastor Joel's john boat? No. Was it because they had an amazing devotional that morning and had been listening to Lauren Daigle on the back of their donkey? No. The reason they showed up to Jesus was because they wanted a free healing just like I wanted a free john boat. They were showing up for the wrong reason, but Jesus wasn't mad at them. He had compassion on them. And here's my point. The longer you've been a Jesus follower, the easier it is to think, well, if you just play that secular music in church and watch Grinch movies, and people are going to show up here for the wrong reason. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. But people showed up to Jesus for the wrong reason, and he didn't yell at them. He didn't criticize them. He was just glad they showed up. And I just want to say to you guys today, it doesn't matter why you showed up today. We don't care why you showed up. We're just glad you showed up. So we'll do anything we can to get people to show up. And so these people show up. And so here's what happens next. 10 to 20,000 people show up. Verse 15. That evening, the disciples came to him, Jesus, and said, "This is a remote place, and it's already getting late." Now, pause. What did the godly people in the story think being a good Jesus follower meant when it comes to these freeloaders who were showing up for the wrong reasons? Okay, this is what they said. They said, "Send the crowds away." The religious people in the story said, "Send them away so they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." So don't miss this. The godly people in the story thought being a good Jesus follower meant sending away the morally sick so that 12 people who believed exactly the same thing could get Jesus all to themselves. Now, this is big. If you checked out, come back to me. If you're a teenager and you're on TikTok right now, come back, TikTok back to me. I don't even know what TikTok is. I'm just trying to say relevant for the teens, okay? I'm just trying to do what I can. But lean in. Come on, everybody, come on, lean in. Lean in. At Bayshore, we will never push away the morally sick. We will never push away the morally sick because I got a secret. We're all morally sick. Especially you Popeyes people, okay? Like, look, I'm going to show you we're all morally sick. How many of you here have ever, by show of hands, you've ever, in your entire life, you've ever lied before? Anybody ever lied before? Let me see your hands. Oh, that's worse than I thought. No, listen, if you didn't raise your hand, liar, liar, pants on fire. Have you ever in your entire life taken something that wasn't yours? And Bayshore pens count, okay? Come on, let me see your hands. Pen stealers. Now, if you've been here a while, you know how I do this. All right, this next one is a little more embarrassing, so you don't have to raise your hand. You just gotta give me a little pinky. A little pinky, a little pinky. How many of you ever looked lustfully at somebody for a little pinky? Now, before you give me the pinky, ladies. He's like, I'm just putting it down. Ladies never do the pinky. Listen, we know you're not watching The Notebook for the story. It's Ryan Gosling, so let me see those pinkies. Come on, ladies. The point is, we're a church full of liars, stealers, cheaters, and Popeye eaters, okay? So, we're all jacked up. We're all morally sick. We all need Jesus' compassion. Listen, I love it when people show up to church here and they don't know, like, the religious rules. A few weeks ago, I think it was 3 weeks ago, it was after the 9 o'clock service. I was walking out to our lobby, and this guy stopped me right in this room. And he's not a regular attender here. And he stopped me, and he's like, "Pastor, that was one beep of a message." And everybody just looked at me because he was loud, and they're all looking at me like, "Oh, this is going to be good." Like, And so I was like, "Man, that's awesome. Thank you for that compliment." And you might be like, well, he cussed. Look, that's not the point. He's in church. And I want Jesus to change his heart more than I want us to change his behavior. Look, my main focus isn't like, "Oh, did you hear the cuss word they said? Stop it. My main focus isn't like, did you hear the music they were listening to in their car in the church parking lot? Sounded like Morse code. They're like, beep, 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 beep. My main focus isn't, did you see what she was wearing in church? Listen, I'm just glad you're all wearing clothes, all right? This is good. Look, I want Jesus to change your heart more than I want us to change your behavior. Look, our main focus isn't behavior modification. It is heart alteration. Let me say that again. Our main focus is not behavior modification. It is heart alteration, because then and only then does Jesus start to change our behavior. Hello. And so I want Jesus to change your heart. And so anyway, back to the story. The disciples want to send away the sick people, but Jesus had a different plan. In verse 16, Jesus said, that isn't necessary. You don't need to send them away. You, wait, who? You feed them. In other words, Jesus was like, hey, being a Jesus follower isn't like sending away people so you can just be around people who are just like you and, so you can swap WWJD bracelets with each other. He's like, no. He's like, I want all y'all to be a part of something way bigger than that. I want you to be a part of a miracle. Now, here's why the people in the story didn't think they could be a part of the miracle. The next verse, verse 17, they said, but we have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, they answered. Everybody said, that's not enough. They're like, what, Jesus, this isn't Red Lobster. This isn't like endless shrimp fest. Like we don't have enough. It kind of reminds me when my wife called me a while back and she's like, honey, my gas gauge thing says I have 0 miles until empty. Have you ever, who's gone to zero? Who's gone to zero? Lord help you people, okay? So it's on 0 and Stacy's like, you think I can get to the gas station? I'm like, is the gas station 0 miles away? I don't know. Doesn't seem possible to me. I don't know. It's 0. But anyway, but they're saying to Jesus, like, Jesus, I don't think this is possible. But how many of you know that Jesus loves to do the impossible? And so this is what happens next in verse 18. Bring them here, he said. Jesus said, like, I know you don't think you have enough and it's like out of your comfort zone to give me like everything you got, but like if you just like would give it to me, like I'll make sure it'll happen. Like I'll make sure it's enough. I'll make sure like I can take care of it. It's kind of like this. We recently got a piece of furniture called a poof. You know, who knows what a poof is? Okay, it's like a little ball thingy that you put your feet on. It's like a mobile ottoman. It's a poof. And we were excited when we got this poof because when we sold our house in the summer, we're building right now, and so like we sold all of our furniture with our house, and so like I've literally been sitting in a beach chair in like all winter in a beach chair, and so the poof was a big upgrade to the beach chair. It's like an additional foot thing on the beach. Anyway, so like I was really excited. The first day I went to put my feet on this poof, I was like, man, this is an upgrade. We're living in luxury. I got a beach chair, but I got a poof, and as soon as I put my feet on it, like styrofoam balls shot out of the poof, like water shot in my jumbo. I never had a poof before, so I was like, I don't think, is it supposed to do this? I wasn't sure. And so I was like, I think something's wrong with the poof. And so I looked, and inside of the fabric, like there's like a fabric inside of like all the stuff on the outside, and there was a hole in the fabric, like in there. And I was like, well, the poof's done. No fixing the poof. The poof is done. And Stacy was like, just give me the poof. I'll take care of it. I was like, you can't take care of the poof. It's in the poof. It's in the poof. And she's like, I'll take care of it. And so Stacy, no lie, she got tweezers out. She got her sewing kit on. I'm pretty sure she had like one of those light lamps on her head. She did surgery on the poof, and she fixed the poof. And that's amazing. And I didn't think it could be fixed. And she's like, just give it to me. I'll make it happen. I'll make it happen, Captain. How many of you, like husbands, how many of your wife can like make stuff happen? That was your opportunity, man. Thank you. You didn't raise your hand. I don't know what to say for you. But anyway, a point. But here's the thing. Jesus did the same thing. He's like, just give me what you got. Like, I know you don't think this will work. Give me the 5 loaves, the 2 bread, the 2 fish, and I'll make it happen. And in verse 19 it says, then he told the people to sit down in the grass. And Jesus took the 5 loaves and 2 fish, which wasn't enough, but they gave like what they had, looked up toward heaven, and he blessed them. And then breaking the loaves into pieces, he gave the bread to the disciples because he wanted them to be a part of the miracle. And they distributed it to the people. And they all ate as much as they wanted. And afterward, the disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftovers. About 5,000 men were fed that day, in addition to all the women and children. And most people believe 10 to 20,000 people were fed. And so just turn to somebody and say, that's the great Golden Corral miracle. Here's the point of the story, in my opinion, for today at least. And we'll put this on the screen. I believe when you give outside of your comfort zone, like they did in that story, that's when Jesus does the biggest miracles. When you give outside of your comfort zone, that's when Jesus does the biggest miracles. Now, when you say give in church, everybody gets tense. People like fake trips to the bathroom. You start looking at the ushers, like, are they going to ush again? Or there's more ushing happening? No more ushing. The ushing is done. But I do want to say this to you. If you have ever given anything here, a little, a lot, whatever, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because of your giving, this many people, 106 people's eternity is changed forever. Because of your giving, you guys, we were able to turn our kids' space into fun land, and we never asked for $1. We've never asked for $1 to do something in-house or to do something for ourselves. Never one time. That was just through your regular giving. Through your giving, you guys were so generous and gave us all these DART bus passes, which we gave to the Emmanuel Homeless Shelter last weekend, so the local homeless community can get the job interviews, can get the doctor's appointments. And because you're giving, guys, we have a basement to do church in. That one day, a girl named Kristen walked in here, and Kristen had all but given up on the church. Because Kristen, when she was 18 years old, she made a mistake, and the church that she had grown up in, literally her entire life, pushed her out. And she thought, I don't know if I can trust the church, but she gave the church one more shot, and she walked in here, and the person at the door didn't say, hey, I know what you did. The person at the door said, welcome home. And she said when she walked in here, she knew she was home, so much so that she went home and she told her husband, Mike, about us. And Mike wasn't a church person, but she was like, you're going to church next weekend, buddy. I was like, did Mike have a choice? She's like, no, Mike had no choice. And so they kept coming. And one Sunday a few years ago, they came to our baptism party Sunday. And Kristen, who had all but given up on the church, and Mike, who was not a church person, stood up. And they stood in line to get baptized. And here's a picture of their baptism moment right here. Isn't that amazing? And now, Mike, who was made to come here the first time by his wife, he now serves on a security team around here as a volunteer. And Kristen's actually on our staff here. She's so amazing. We brought her on as our babies and kids director. And listen, when you give here, that kind of stuff is possible. This kind of stuff is possible. That kind of stuff is possible. We're able to have a church in a basement. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, speaking of the basement, has anyone noticed that we're running out of space? You notice this? Now, I notice it because some Sundays I can't wait to get up on this stage. And it's not because I want to preach. It's because me and Matt Barth, our arm hair is touching each other. And I have personal space issues. And it's there's a lot of arm hair rubbing. And but we're growing. I remember the very first message I preached on this stage, or I really preached ever, was on November 3rd, 2013. There were 17 people coming to church here at the time. And I was scared to death. I was so scared that the Saturday before, I practiced preached in my living room to my wife, Stacy. And afterwards, I was like, how was it? And she faked a trip to the bathroom. It was not good. But 17 people were showing up. And that day, I preached a message called Asking Big. And the whole premise for the message was, what are you asking God for that's so big that if God didn't do it, it wouldn't happen? And that day, I started praying for 100 people to start showing up here to the church, which was impossible at the time. I don't have a theological degree. I went to school. I have an MBA. I didn't know, I'm practice preaching to my wife, and she's faking trips to the bathroom. And we're in a basement. How are 100 people going to come here? But a few months went by, and 100 people showed up to the basement. And Bo Dukes, our worship leader, crossed off 100 and said, pray for 200 people to show up. I'm like, dang, Bo, can we not savor this moment? But we started praying for 200 people. We're asking big for 200 people to show up. And I'll never forget the Sunday after church, I was in the lobby, and Bo said, guess how many people could show up to church today? 207 people showed up to church. So I was like, let's pray for 400 people. And this Christmas, over 400 people came to our Christmas experiences in the basement. It was so crowded that my family of 4 literally sat in 2 seats up here. And it was just amazing. And I'm like, Bo, are we outgrowing the basement? And he's like, I think the fire marshal would say so. It's like this. It was crazy how many people were showing up here. And how many of you know that we're going to outgrow this basement eventually? You know that? We are. And so today really starts the next chapter in our church's history. Because I have like a big announcement for our next step, you guys. Because today we're starting this campaign, and we'll put this on the screen. We're starting the Go Above Ground campaign. Yeah! We got to go above ground, people. And listen, I know that my first message was called Asking Big. And today I'm going to ask big. All right, so everybody take a deep breath. Just deep breaths. That wasn't deep enough. Let's do it deeper. All right, for the Go Above Ground campaign, I want us to raise $1.5 million so we can go above ground. Woo! I said it. I put it out there. Here's the deal. I know that sounds crazy. You're like, oh my goodness, no, we can't. But I want us to raise $1.5 million so that when there's an opportunity to buy land and build, we can do that. Or if there's an opportunity to lease a space that's at least twice this big, we can do that. Or if we just need to go to Kmart, okay? I just am like, whatever we need to do, let's go. And you might say, oh, we can't raise $1.5 million. It's not Red Lobster. It's not Endless Shrimp Fest. Listen, my very first message was called Asking Big. And ever since then, I've been asking God to do impossible things. And He's done impossible things in this basement. He's always done impossible things in this basement. And I look around this room and I see you all. And God's done impossible things in your all's lives. And we need a miracle. But thank goodness we have the way maker and miracle worker, people. And so I am asking that we go big. And we go outside of our comfort zone, and we raise $1.5 million. Now, this $1.5 million, here's what we're going to do. I have this giant container. I bought this container online without really seeing it, and it's bigger than I thought it was. So I should have taken the measurements. Okay, but every single time we raise $1,000, we're going to put a ping pong ball in here. Now, we only got to go to this mark, so don't have a heart attack, okay? Because I draw too big of a thing here. Anyway, and once a month, we're going to come up here, and we're going to say how much money we've raised so that we can go above ground, and we're going to put, ping pong balls in here. Now, would anybody be psyched if we were able to put some in, like, today? Some of you are like, well, wait, are the ushers going to ush? Like, I'm not... No, the ushers aren't going to ush. Here's how we can put something in here today. Because before Christmas Eve services, one of the families who come here said they wanted to meet with me. And so we met in the Next Steps room. And when we met, I didn't know what we were going to talk about. But in that meeting, they said, Joel, we love this church. And we know that you can't outgive God. And they slid a $100,000 check across the table. $100,000 check? I was like, are the camera, is this a trick? Are you Santa Claus? Like, what is happening here? And like, they started crying. I started crying. I'm pretty sure Rob, who was dressed as Buddy the Elf, was crying. We were all crying. But they slid a $100,000 check across the table. And so that is what's going to kick off our Go Above Ground campaign. But there's more. Because my spiritual gift is cheap, we've been like saving around here out of the regular giving. And we have an additional $50,000 to put towards that $150,000. So we can put 150 ping pong balls in here right now. Right now. So, it's too tall. I can't do it. It's too tall. All right, come on now. Let's put 150 ping pong balls in here right now. These are stubborn, these ones. Here we go. Almost there. Got 3 more. There. Oh, they don't want. There it is. Oh, the lost one. I'm just putting the whole bag in there. I don't. We're 10% of the way there, and we haven't even started, you guys. 10% of the way there. And listen, I want you to do what I want you to do is I want you to like pray about how you can go above your regular giving to help us go above ground. And I hope whatever number you come up with takes you out of your comfort zone, because when we give outside of our comfort zone, that's when Jesus does the biggest miracles. And so maybe for you, getting outside your comfort zone is like, I'm going to dream to put 1 ping pong ball in there. I'm going to $1,000, and that would be amazing. That would be amazing. For some of you, that's not outside of your comfort zone. You could put 100 ping pong balls in here. You could give $100,000. You could fill this thing up, plus buy Kmart, whatever, plus put a Popeyes in there. I don't know. But I hope you're a part of this, because I want every single person to be a part of the life change that's going to happen in our church's future. And so when everybody leaves today, we're going to be giving out this Go Above Ground campaign envelope at the back doors, and it's live on our app right now. You can give through our app, and it's live on our website right now. We're just kind of getting ready for today. But I just want you to pray about what you can do to put in here. And if this is your first time here, just know we've never done this before. Like, we don't come up here like, oh, it's March, okay? This is our March fundraiser. We have never asked for money for our church in the 6.5 years that I've been here. We've never done it. It's always been to help other people and help other projects. But I want everybody to be a part of this, because, listen, if this is what Jesus can do in a basement, can you imagine what he can do when we go above ground? What I think when we go above ground is I think more people are going to have their life changed. I think more people are going to get baptized. And I think it's going to spread like wildfire until Rehoboth Beach is different, you guys. Rehoboth didn't need another church. Rehoboth needed a different kind of church. And I hope you are a part of this with us. Let me pray for you guys. Jesus, I'm so thankful that you have given us a big dream. But God, I know a lot of times when we look ahead, we forget to look back and say thank you. And so God, I just want to say thank you for all of the things that you have done in this place. It's been an impossible dream that you have made possible. And you love to make the impossible possible. And so God, I just pray that as we go into the future, this is a big thing that we're asking. This is a thing that takes a lot of faith. But God, you are the way maker. You're the miracle worker, and we believe that you're going to do this. And we can't wait to see what you do in our church when we go above ground. And you get all the credit, you get all the glory, and it's all for you that we do all of this. And thank you for letting a church like this exist in Rehoboth Beach and allowing people to give us a shot to be a little bit different. We love you so much, Jesus. Amen. Amen. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. And there's a volunteer at the back door. If you're a first-time guest, she has a mug for you. Not a mug. That sounds bad. Like, well, it's a coffee mug thing. Anyway, and then come back next weekend for All the Feels, Part 7. We will see you guys next weekend.